Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we are currently working on a little bit of repairs, and then I want to get ourselves a little bit more money. I like to be at that 10 million mark after all, and we will see what we end up running into. It'll be interesting, but I'm definitely fascinated by our current composition. It felt really good last episode, and we'll see what it feels like this time. Before we go, I want to hop into our barracks and do any promotions. We might have some to do. Let's see what we've got here. Gorgon. Yes, a point of guts. There we go. And then GV, yep, that all seems fine. Yeah, this all seems absolutely okay for the time being, other than Gorgon. Sure, so let's hop into the command center and see what we've got available. We don't need all that much cash here. Something like 2.6 million would be basically the maximum that we need in this particular deploy. So, I mean, we could theoretically run like this. It's a battle in the Highlands against Steiner. No. We don't know who the Op4 is. Well, it's Steiner and someone else. Okay, I don't think we'll run that one. I do think that we'll probably stick to something a little simpler, like... These are all urban. We could run urban, for sure, but I'd prefer not to. Comstar is tracking local government heavy mech. This is potentially an interesting one. We can get some Comstar rep out of it. We can get potentially a decent amount of salvage, bringing us up to 1.1 million. And so that would put us at 10.5. I mean, we'd want to make an additional amount of money before the financial report, ideally. But I think that this is reasonable to run it right like this. This seems good. So let's just get this deployed as is. Yeah, we're going to have some mechs that are a little underweight. Our crossbow... Why did that not get... Hang on. Why can't we drag this? Does this have internal damage? Oh, it got that foot destruction. Right, I forgot about that. We're going to have to repair that quick. It's going to take almost literally 0 time. It will probably... It might even take 0 days. Yeah. Okay. That's the sort of thing I wish Yang would fix, but he doesn't, so we have to tell him. So we'll hop back into the command center and get that mission set up again, now that the crossbow doesn't have that through armor crit anymore. And let's see, that was what mission? That was, I want to say, this. That's a blackout. This one. Destroy base. I've forgotten. Urban battle. There's definitely one in here that it was. This is this one. It was this one. Okay. Fantastic. So we put this here. There we go. Accept that. And, yep, this will all be absolutely fine. We'll deploy our 600 tons. And Darius thinks this will be hard. That's a good sign. And I will see you guys after the loading screen. Okay, so here we are all loaded up. That wasn't too bad. Let's begin the mission and see what we've got here.
Command interface initiated.
This is definitely going to be a trap, though. So let's see what kind of trap it is. Jungle at night, yep. And enemy units are up over here. We could definitely deploy, like, here. It wanted us to deploy down here, which is way too far away. No doubt about that. I'm going to deploy up over here. If we get flanked, it's my own fault. So let's see what happens. We should be able to move up and eliminate this guy pretty quickly, in theory. So let's see what there is here. Currently, we don't see anything other than this guy, but there's got to be more, right? There's definitely more. So we're going to move forward with our Bandersnatch here. Okay, there are reinforcements.
Enemy reinforcements.
Say salvage Shrek. Okay, that's a Black Knight. We don't see all that much, and they're apparently further back. So we'll just move everybody forward here. Okay, that's a Warhammer. Do we get LOS on this Black Knight up here? Actually, yes, we do. So that's wonderful. I'm going to position our crossbow about here, keeping it in cover. There's that salvage Trek. That thing with its triple PPCs could be potentially dangerous, but probably not.
Talk to me.
We're going to move our other crossbow up. This is our MRM crossbow, and we're going to move in as close as we can.
Maximum speed.
We're, of course, in spawn protection right now. That's a marksman SPG, so a self-propelled gun. That guy's got some artillery on him. Noted. Our Black Knight is going to move up over here-ish. We don't get LOS here, but we can close in a bit. And that's a hunchback. Okay, that doesn't seem that dangerous, all things considered. Our rifleman is going to want to get into position to be able to fire, so we'll do that. Our marauder is going to want to close in as much as it can. Something along those lines. And our Epimetheus also wants to close in. So a position about here for now. And of course our Nidhogg. We're going to accelerate up our Nidhogg, and we're going to close as much as we can. So that's round 1 on the Nidhogg, and next round we'll be able to accelerate a little bit faster. So the Grasshopper positions there. Okay. Spawn protection has been removed.
Standing by.
So at this point we've got our crossbow here. I'm just thinking about where we'd want to put it. I think for now we want to reserve that.
I've got your
This
back.
crossbow, on the other hand, can absolutely bring itself in over here. I like this flanking position, clearing
Roger
this
that.
firing corridor. And we're going to fire on this Black Knight. Why is this MRM so much lower odds than the others? Interesting. It's due to the weapon mount. Okay, sure. Well, we'll go ahead and fire this and see what we get done.
All weapons are go.
It should be a pretty heavy attack into this sidearm. That actually clustered really well. But we didn't manage to penetrate the armor there. But that was a really good cluster attack. I like it. So next up would be our crossbow. And the crossbow can get into this side arc. I'm just wondering, can we get an unobstructed LOS later? And the answer to that is maybe.
Standing by.
So for now, I'm going to take the Black Knight up over here, and we're going to fire into this guy. Lack of visuals, probably? Yeah, lack of visuals.
Locked and loaded. Here it comes.
So no hits there. That's sad.
That's a miss.
We just weren't quite close enough, but it was worth a shot. And next up would be the Epimetheus. I want to put the Epimetheus. I don't love this positioning, but we'll put it here. Once again, no visuals. We're not quite close enough. And it's nighttime. That said, we did hit with the autocannon. But those missiles went very poorly.
Solid connection on that one.
But the AC-20 hitting is what matters. So that's great. The Black Knight doesn't move until phase 15 here. That Warhammer is continuing to close in. The SPG is, of course, a relatively major concern here. I'm going to move the Marauder up to here. We're going to pot shot this again. Still no visuals, and that's understood. We do manage to tag him, though, and we take out that arm. So that seems good. We eliminated a PPC there.
Commander?
Next up would be our Grasshopper, and the Grasshopper is going to close in as much as it can.
Roger that.
Still no visuals here, but
Firing all weapons.
reasonable hit odds. We took out a double heat sink and a medium laser.
Reporting
Okay.
Critical hit.
Not ideal, but
Waiting on
this
you,
guy is not
Commander.
doing well. There's no doubt about that. So I'm going to move our Bandersnatch up over... These are all... Oh, hello. This is a direct LOS.
Got it.
Beautiful. And I'm not going to fire the ER medium lasers for heat purposes, but we'll just see what we can get from crit fishing here. Leg destruction.
Want some more? Huh?
And the Black Knight's unsteady now. So our rifleman can position... Actually, where it's at right now is quasi-decent. It has visuals here. Do it. Okay. So one PPC missed, but we took out the leg. He's knocked down. Beautiful. Okay. So he was reserved back to phase 14. Phase 15, we don't have anybody in phase 15 or phase 14, so he's going to get back up. But he's not happy about this situation, I'm sure. The marksman is going to fire on our crossbow. That's a terrible choice. They should have dropped that artillery on our marauder, to be honest. But you know what? We'll take it. So the Hunchback is just kind of running around up over here. The Black Knight gets up, but there's very little it can do at this point. It's... Yeah, it's super dead. Who do we have that hasn't moved yet? Well, our Nidhogg, which moves very late in the move order. I assume that's due to Romeo's piloting skill. But that's fine. So phase 13, they're going to be moving their salvaged Shrek here. Really? It missed all of those. But that is not a PPC variant. Okay, noted. So Weasel Cakes hasn't moved yet either, and our crossbow can position somewhere up over here. We don't have LOS anywhere that we go here. So I'm just going to move up here, and we're just going to lob a couple missiles at this Black Knight. Even indirect, we have good hit odds here. Cool. So we do a little bit of damage to his remaining armor, and I'm going to take our Nidhogg up over this direction. We'll position it here for now. And that Warhammer could be a target. I'm not going to fire on the Warhammer, though. I'm just going to pot shot the... Not even a pot shot. 99.1% hit odds on the snub-nosed PPC into that Black Knight. There we go. Right into that CT. That's what I want to see. Beautiful. Okay, phase 18. That's going to be somebody out over here. It's a Warhammer. He's probably going to shoot at the Nidhogg, but he didn't. Okay, I like it. The Bandersnatch is going to move up, and this Black Knight is dead. It definitely doesn't survive this. Kaboom. Fantastic. So now we need to eliminate the local government reinforcements. They are out behind the hill.
My heat's getting pretty
So the question is, how are we going to get there? Well, we can definitely send the Nidhogg over to attack the Shrek and the SPG, and that is the plan. The crossbow here is going to advance forward as far as it can to here and sink heat. Phase 16 is at Hunchy. He's coming up over here. We might get an LOS up this direction.
What's up,
potentially. The crossbow definitely needs to step forward, and we're going to check LRM hit odds on these. 6.5. 16.9 on that Warhammer. 24.3 on the SPG. Actually, that's our high priority target anyway. So let's fire on it.
Some of this.
Let's see what we get done there. Little bit of armor damage. We'll take it. Next up, what are they going to do? Well, the Shrek just didn't move.
Commander.
So that's wonderful. Our rifleman is going to advance up over here. We're going to want to try to get some LOS on this Hunchback if we can. That would be ideal. Our Black Knight is probably going to want to head out this direction as well. It's not going to get there yet, though. The Grasshopper can certainly make its way up over this direction. Yeah, it's up into the fire, but I'm not too concerned about that. Same with the Epimetheus. I'm going to send it up over this way. There we go. And now for the Nidhogg. And the Nidhogg, I would like to position in the rear arc of the SPG. This is an ideal spot for it, right here. So, unfortunately, we actually don't have visuals here, or maybe we do. Yeah, we do. I'm going to drop largely everything on this. I want to hit this marksman hard, and I want to splash damage that Shrek if we can.
Rear armor it is.
And we actually just straight up destroyed it. Beautiful. So we used up a lot of ammo there. No doubt about it. But that was very important. So that's now gone, and the Shrek is the next target for the Nidhogg. The Nidhogg still has some bombs and its weapon bay, and we'll use those on that Shrek. Okay, so next up will be our Marauder, and this is our direct fire engagement Marauder. We're just going to sprint on up here and close in as much as we can. Okay, next round, our Bandersnatch can position here. The question is, who would we want to fire on? 12.9, 12.9, and what's the Hunchback? 3.3. I don't know that these are worth firing at. I'm just going to brace and sink heat. Our heat is pretty high right now. So this crossbow, I would like to get it into position to attack this Warhammer. We can't get there, so I'm just going to park in this cover here, and we'll see if the Warhammer comes over here and engages. They have to be very scared of the Nidhogg, though. Okay, so they just tried to attack the Nidhogg and missed everything. That's excellent. Then, of course, we're going to grab our crossbow, our second crossbow. This will be Weasel Cakes, and he's going to advance up over here. 19.3, 10.4, and on the Hunchy, 8.5. So those aren't really worth taking. I'm going to lob them at the Shrek. We've done some damage to this. It's actually out of TBM ammo. This Shrek is not very valuable, is it? Well, it does have a fair amount of rockets, and it has some smaller guns as well. So that's direct LOS on our Epimetheus. That's good. We like that.
How's it going?
Our Rifleman is going to advance up over this way. There's only so far it can go. LOS is going to be a problem for it. But our Epimetheus can absolutely make its way up over here. These are some terrible sprints. Okay. Yeah, we'll position it here. We'll pot shot this Hunchy. We're not expecting too much out of that. Okay, yeah, these are really low hit odds. I'm not going to fire the MRM. I'm not even going to fire the light AC-20. Yeah. Missing all of the medium lasers, that's to be expected.
Negative damage.
Okay. So next is going to be our Black Knight. The Black Knight is going to make its way around over here. There's only so far it can get. That's understood. So the Shrek moves next. I expect it to fire these rockets at the Nidhogg. It did get one tandem rocket hitting there. Okay. That was pretty decent, though. We're not too concerned about that. It didn't fire its Rocket Pack 10s. So that's absolutely noted. The Grasshopper can move up over here. And this would also end up being a pot shot at this Hunchy. Much better hit odds, though. We'll take these. I mean, it's still not good hit odds, but it's better. We missed almost all of that, and that's reasonably expected. So I'm going to take the Marauder up over this direction to back up the crossbow.
Good to go.
We're definitely going to want some form of backup up over here. And the Nidhogg, do we want to position it? Well, we can position it like, that's not perfect for both. We could sprint it to here. And we can choose whether to hit the Shrek or the Warhammer.
Confirmed.
Honestly, I think the Warhammer is the bigger threat here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to drop our guided bombs on the Warhammer, and let's just hit its rear arc here. Let's see what we get done.
Target lock on enemy.
We missed a lot there, actually.
I've got no ammo in multiple weapons.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. That didn't go all that well in terms of hitting there. But the crossbow can move up to about here, get 7 evasive, and be in a really good spot to hit this Warhammer side arc. So we're going to do exactly that. Do we want to fire this with improved MRM ammo? Honestly, yes. Let's do it.
Everything I've got.
Really good clustering there. Structure exposure and a PPC crit. We took off a ton of that Warhammer's armor. Okay, more than a ton. We took off many tons of that Warhammer's armor. So our crossbow can step forward up to here. This gives us direct fire LOS on that Hunchback, and we'll start stripping some armor off of that. I see that its AC-20 is currently jammed, or actually it's crit. We'll see what it does here. It may still be able to fire it. That Warhammer moves up. It is not happy with its situation, and it fires on the Nidhogg. It feels like it really needs to take out the Nidhogg, but to be honest, the Nidhogg doesn't have that much juice left. So there's that. The Hunchback backs off. Fair enough.
Good to go.
So at this point, the Bandersnatch is going to sprint up over here. Let's see what we have hit odds on. 20% on the Warhammer. Higher on the Shrek, almost 30%. And on the Hunchback, 10%. Okay. Sounds good. So we're going to fire on that Shrek then.
Uh-huh.
Let's soften him up. Now, he's going to get to fire his rocket packs at our Nidhogg fairly soon. This Epimetheus wants to head up towards this Hunchback here, but it actually can't make its way through here. So we're just going to move out over this direction. I'm a little surprised we can't make our way through there. But the Nidhogg can now get in behind the Warhammer again, and that's exactly what the plan is here. I would like to move it... Yes, here.
Roger. Full speed.
What? It said that we could hit the Warhammer there. It definitely said that. Okay. We can't actually fire it. That's really, really sad. I was lied to by the UI. Okay. We're going to move our grasshopper up over here.
Orders.
And the Marauder is going to position here. It doesn't actually matter. We've got this in the bag. It just would have been much more clean, right? So the Rifleman is going to advance here. This is fine. The Black Knight can advance as well. We just want to position it somewhere up here and just chase after this guy. Cool. So now the Shrek is going to fire on our Nidhogg. And, I mean, we've still got our AMSs. So there's only so much it can do. And the answer is not a lot. It can't do a lot here. So next up, let's see when everybody moves. The Warhammer is moving now, and it's moving into melee our crossbow. It actually charged it, but it missed its charge. That is huge. Okay, that kind of changes everything. So I'm going to move the crossbow up. The crossbow could fire on the Warhammer. Probably good hit odds there. I think we're going to fire on the Shrek, though. The Warhammer missing everything makes up completely for the UI lying to us on the Nidhogg. 100%. The Warhammer is turbo dead. So the Hunchback closes in and fires, tries to fire on our crossbow, but ends up hitting... What is this mech?
My armor's getting stripped off.
That is our Black Knight.
Can't take
Okay,
much
yeah,
more.
that'll be fine. I'm not too concerned about that. So currently it's going to be our Bandersnatch. The Bandersnatch does get an interrupted LOS here. And I think we take that, to be honest. 52.7 is probably the best we're going to get. I'm not going to fire the lasers, just the missiles, and we're going to soften up this Hunchback a little bit. Ooh. Structure exposure and a heat sink destruction in preparation for our other mechs closing in up here. I like it. So next up is our Rifleman, who does actually get an interrupted LOS here. We'll fire on this Hunchy. Okay. We only managed to hit with the autocannon there, sadly. But that's fine.
I've got your back.
The crossbow is now going to move into the rear arc of this Warhammer, and oh, we have to punch him from there? I don't like the punch. I'm going to side arc kick him. We have to punch him from these other sides. And we want our arms available to fire. So we're just going to kick him here. That is very unfortunate, but that's due to the terrain. So that's fine. He's already unsteady, so we'll just do a lot of side arc damage here. I would have preferred rear arc damage here. Absolutely.
Punch.
So he gets knocked down. And now there will be some rear arc damage there, actually. So that's an arm destruction. And our Marauder will be able to close in, I think, into LOS up over here, so that'll be fine. The Epimetheus may be able to get there as well. Actually, it can.
All right.
So we'll position here. I don't think it's worth stray-shotting the AC-20, but we'll just do something like this. Okay, PPC destruction on the Warhammer. I like it.
Something good.
And next up would be our Black Knight, which absolutely wants to close in on this Hunchback. We'll take this side arc position, and we are going to potshot this. We might take out that arm. It was okay. It wasn't great shooting.
Scored a critical hit.
Okay, next up is our Grasshopper, and I don't think that the Grasshopper gets anywhere remotely useful right now. We'll just position it here.
Full throttle.
Okay. Then our Marauder, and the Marauder would really like to get a clear, uninterrupted LOS of that Warhammer, but that doesn't end up happening. We can position it here and just fire on the Warhammer. This is likely a kill. Couple of engine crits, gyro crit. Pilot does eject. It wouldn't have killed if the pilot hadn't have ejected, though.
Good to go.
So at this point, I want the Nidhogg to come in behind the Shrek, and we're going to finish this off. Hopefully.
Firing.
We've done a lot of damage to it. And that was more damage, but it did not get fully eliminated. It's still got rockets in its rocket packs. They're not that big of a threat, though. Yeah. The Nidhogg's doing okay.
Reporting minimal damage.
Indeed. And that Shrek is not long for this world. That's for sure. So next up is our crossbow, and the crossbow is just going to move in, and the Shrek is pretty dead, I feel like, especially if we were to melee it, but that would be a charge. So we're just going to move to point-blank range,
Confirmed.
and we're going to take this guy out. I don't think he survives this.
Triggering an alpha strike.
There we go.
For House Arana.
One very dead Shrek.
Battle
And
mech
honestly,
down.
the Hunchback's very close as well. So let's get him taken out as soon as we can. He's positioned here right now. Where does he go? He actually moves in closer to us. He does fire his autocannon at the crossbow and gets 100 damage in there, but the armor holds. Yeah, actually, the armor held really well. So our Bandersnatch is where it's going to be. We're not going to go anywhere else here. As far as heat goes, I think we honestly fire an Alpha Strike here. Fantastic. That Hunchback is now unsteady. AC-20 ammo explosion, although it was contained, and he is super dead. He just doesn't know it
On my
yet.
way.
I'm a little surprised that that shot didn't take him
I'm out
down.
of
I actually
range.
expected that shot to bring him down.
I will be
But
done.
as it is, I mean, our Grasshopper can't get anywhere useful right now,
Moving to position.
which I feel like has been a refrain this
Yes,
entire mission.
Commander.
But a Rifleman can, and the Rifleman will likely finish the job here.
Alpha strike.
Or we'll miss everything except for one spot that hits armor. I guess that works. Sure, why not? Well,
Standing
we've got our
by.
Nidhogg still in position up over here. We still have a bomb as well. So we're just going to
Let's
move
move.
that on up, and we're going to hit this guy straight in his weak side arc. He's going to die.
Roger that. Target confirmed.
Kaboom.
Victorious. Show them
Fantastic.
what one
This still
less
feels
target.
really good. I mean, LOS was awkward for us there, no doubt about it.
Successful.
And that's why we try to avoid urban environments, for the record. But the nice thing about urban environments is that, unlike mountains, we can shoot down buildings. So there is that as an option. No doubt about it. But overall, this is going very well without the Centaur. I feel like the Nidhogg slots into that very, very cleanly. And overall, I think it's great. I would love to get our hands on a Seth as well. Imagine having 2 heavy bombers. Imagine having 4. 4 heavy bombers might be a little bit on the much side. We might want to have, like... Actually... We can get 3 Marksman SPG parts here. We have 1 right now. So we can do something kind of like this. I would have liked it if we could have gotten 4, but 4 was not an option. We got 4 double heat sinks as well, which is solid. And Engine Core 280 is pretty decent as well. We have a couple of them. So I'm actually going to sell it. But if we were able to get an artillery vehicle, that would be a really nice addition to our fire support. So something like an SPG would be absolutely great. We just keep it in our backline along with our other fire support, and I wonder how much ammo it would have. But it wouldn't be able to be knocked down, unlike a mech with artillery. So that would be the way to go on that front. I'd love to have, like, a missile artillery vehicle and a ballistic artillery vehicle, and then a Seth and a Nidhogg, as far as our vehicles go. I feel like that would be incredibly powerful. Combine that with our mech layout that we've got going on right now, and things are looking pretty good, all things considered. So yeah, our lance was damaged. Go ahead and do that. That is absolutely fine. And I want to check in real quick before we go here on whether we had any other SPG components that we could turn into a full SPG. I don't think so. So we just need 1 more Marksman SPG part. Sounds good. So a Marksman SPG part, and then a Seth, and then a missile artillery vehicle. So something like a Seraphim. And then a Seth. That would be amazing. I would love that loadout. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to get these repairs done. That's not going to take very long. And we're going to head out probably on a bit more of a salvage mission now that we have our funds relatively rebuilt. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Kintogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.